Good evening, folks. Margaret is back with another video. And today's video is gonna be about my first job. Yes, folks, my first job. I had to beg my mother for me to go and do this job. Now, a lady in our district, she wanted me to work as a babysitter for her aunt. And for weeks, this lady been bothering my mom every day because I stay aside and I hear what's going on, but I never approached the argument. I left it alone. But I heard what my mom was saying because I was my mom's right hand. So she didn't want to give up her right hand helper. I was like a little built in nanny, always helping her, taking care of the younger siblings, and go to the market whenever she wants me to and do her stuff. So she didn't want to let that go. So this lady had an aunt, and the aunt got sick. Nice lady, worked as a nurse down in St. Anne's Bay, and she got sick because I believe it was from overworked. She was overworked, her nerves were gone, and she was very sick. So this niece wanted me. I came out of school, didn't graduate, so I was hanging around, wasn't doing anything except working for my mom. Free labor. I was doing free labor, folks. Not a penny. But I didn't mind. I enjoyed it. So this lady came every day, almost every day when she passed by, to ask my mom to let me come with her to her aunt to help her out because her aunt has two children. One was a little young and the other one was older. And so my mom would refuse. Every time she comes and she beg, my mom would say, no, no, I can't let her go there. No. Because, of course, I was the older one at home at that time. My older sister had gone out on her own, working and so on. So she wasn't around. So I was the main one to help her out with almost everything. So she didn't want to give that up. So finally, one day she came back again. I'm telling you, that woman is so persistent. She never gave up. She came back around another day and she asked my mom again. My mom says no. And I overheard the argument. And so I stepped in and I asked her right in front of the lady. I asked her, I said, Mama. I said, Mama, why don't you let me go? Let me go. And I told her I want to go. I want to go and try this job because the lady said it was just babysitting. So I said it was easy. She said I would wash the young child clothes, feed her, bathe her, and that was it. So I said, well, this is a good bargain. It's not hard, so I could do it. So I went. The day I packed my bag, I was so happy. My mom said yes. After I talked with her, she agreed. The lady was on cloud nine. She was so happy. So in a few days after that, I packed my bag and we went together to this aunt's place. And I was so anxious to reach to this place. Every time, almost every 30 minutes, I'm saying to her on the bus, were we gonna reach soon? And she was so sweet. She said, yes, me dear. Yes, me dear, we soon reach. And she understand how anxious I was. So we got there, saw the place. It was a large house, and the lady was living probably next door, another unit beside the house, with his younger child, with his two children. And so I went there. I think by the time I got there, the lady was in the hospital. She was in the hospital, but she came out after a while. And so she was functioning. She would instruct me what to do, but she was still very, very fragile. She wasn't very strong at all. Anyway, she was always in bed and resting and everything. So I was there working, doing the young child's clothes, laundry, bathe her, as she said, And then all of a sudden, my duty increased because she found out. They both found out. And plus, the niece already knew that I was capable of doing much more. So all of a sudden, I started to be running the household. She would give me money to go to the market Saturday morning to shop for everything that's needed in the household. And then when I come back from the market, I had to do dinner. Yes, all of a sudden I became general manager. Yes, folks, I became general manager. I was looking after the young child. I was doing laundry. I was going to the market. I was cooking. Everything. I was doing everything. I was doing everything, folks. But I didn't mind because I could manage it. And but the wages didn't go up. I think my wages was 25 shillings per week. And it didn't go up. Although I end up doing much more, it didn't go up. That's from babysitting to full manager, running the whole household. 25 shillings a week. I think it went up later on to 30 shillings per week. That was pounds, shillings and pence back then. So I think I did start getting 30 shillings per week. Yeah, so I was quite happy about that. But I'm telling you, my folks, the first Sunday, I cooked dinner for her. It was curried goat, rice and peas, and I made some carrot juice. And I think I did cook the Saturday too. Yeah, I did cook the Saturday. But the Sunday was very special. Looks like she liked the dinner that I cooked. She didn't say much on the Saturday, but this Sunday I was called in to the kitchen. And when I went in, I was wondering what kind of trouble did I get myself in. But it wasn't any trouble. She said to me, "What or which cooking school you went to?" I said, "I didn't go to no cooking school, ma'am." You know, coming from the country, that's how we usually speak. Me, me never go to no kitchen, no cooking school, ma'am. Me not go to no kitchen, no cooking school, ma'am. And she said, "Oh my gosh," because I thought I was in big trouble. She said, "The food is so delicious." The lady didn't sit down, folks. She stand up in the kitchen. She didn't have time to go sit down. She stand up in that kitchen with her plate. And she ate and she ate and she ate. She couldn't stop. She loved it. And I was so happy because when I was home, I was always in the kitchen with my mom watching because my mom is a good cook. Was a good cook. She passed on. And I was very curious, what is my mom putting into these food? The seasoning, what is she using to make it taste so good? Especially when she made beef balls, meatballs, beef balls. And she had a grinder that she would buy the meat and grind it up herself, and she would make meatballs. We call it beef balls because it's made from beef. And it tasted so good, and I wanted to see what she was putting in these food that she cooked that make it taste so good. So I was pee pee cluck cluck behind her. Every turn she turned, I was behind her watching and peeping to see what she was putting in these food, what the ingredients was. Sometimes she would step on my foot, and she would be surprised to say, "What are you doing behind me like that?" And she would step on my toes, but I would watch to see what she was putting in, and so I would learn how to cook and how to make my food taste as good as hers. I didn't realize I was gonna be off going to a job where I would have to cook, but that's what I want. I was very inquisitive, and that was my main reason for watching her and PP cluck behind her to see what she was doing. I was very inquisitive, very, very inquisitive. I wanted to see what she was doing. And so sometimes she have to get some butter to put into her food that she's cooking. And oh my goodness, she has to send me to the store. I didn't like that at all because I was going to miss something. But I would run so fast and go to the shop, get her butter, and be back. She would even say sometimes that, "Oh my goodness, that didn't take you very long." She thought she got rid of me, but not for very long. I was back in no time. huffing and puffing because I run all the way to the store and run the way back because I didn't want to miss what she was doing. And so, folks, so when it came for me to go to work, I was able to do all of that because I was already doing that at home without being paid. So I cooked and I cleaned and I do the shopping at the market, St. Anne's Bay Market. I was gone early Saturday morning to do the shopping at the market. And and my driver was a one hand man, tall, slim, good looking fella. One hand, folks. He's one of the first taxi driver to be out there. So he would pick me up down from where I am and take me to the St. Anne's Bay Market. And whenever I'm ready, I would track him down and he would take me back to where he picked me up. He would drive so fast, I didn't mind then, but it was amazing how that guy could drive with one hand, folks. One hand, and he drive. So Jamaica is one of the best places because I'm telling you, many places would not allow a person disability with one hand to drive like that. And he was running a taxi. He's the first one to be out there, take take passengers to the St. Anne's Bay Market and back. He would make so many trips in one day. Yes, folks, my one hand taxi driver. And I would love to see what if he's still alive today. But if you're anywhere, my one hand taxi driver, and you see this video, bless your heart. Thank you for taking me back and forth without any problems. Yes, folks, God bless him. My one hand taxi driver. So that was my first job as a babysitter, and it turned out that I ended up being managing the household because I was capable of doing that. I learned from home all that I was able to pass on into this first job. Yes, folks. So that's what it was. My first job as a babysitter. But it didn't last very long as a babysitter. I ended up managing the household. But I was happy that I was able to help. And the lady was came back. She got well quite quickly because of course she was eating good food. I cooked soup almost every Saturday. I cooked soup and she had her good appetite. And she was always ready to eat and enjoy the dinner that I cooked while she got her rest and restore her health and she went out back to work. Yes, folks. So that's my story about my first job as a babysitter. Yes, folks. So that's it for today, and maybe I'll come back again with another story about my second job. Yes, folks. I started to work at an early age because I dropped out of school and I was bored, didn't have anything to do, so I ended up taking up the job of babysitting. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful evening, folks. Stay blessed. Bye bye now.